My name is Jen Deerinwater. So I live in Washington, D.C., but I was raised in rural Oklahoma and Texas. I am Slagi, which is the Cherokee word for Cherokee. I'm a citizen of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma. I am bisexual, two-spirit. I'm multiply disabled with chronic pain. So I work as a journalist. That's sort of my primary job. I'm freelance, but I'm also a contributor at Truth Out. And then I do like some speaking and trainings for grassroots organizers and nonprofits. And I'm also the executive director and founder of Crushing Colonialism, which is an international indigenous multimedia collective.
What is disability justice?
So for me, disability justice is different from, like, say, healthcare rights. I think healthcare rights, and I think, it's, really fighting just for healthcare for a little more privileged people. Whereas disability justice for me it's about the right to self-determination. It's about the right to decide when and where I live, what that looks like. It's about having the access to the community resources that I need to live in the community, as opposed to being institutionalized, which happens all the time to disabled people. It's about having employment opportunities, educational opportunities. It's about having my friends and family and my romantic partners understand and respect when I say that I don't feel well. It's about having medical providers listen to me, which so often does not happen. Some of my health issues are significantly worse now because doctors didn't listen when I was younger. I wouldn't be in so much pain if people had listened to me when I was younger and I had the surgeries and the care I needed. So disability justice for me is just like, it's a much larger way of looking at, like, giving me the right to live the life that I deserve and that I want to live.
What are some of the challenges to being disabled and accessing healthcare?
So, I don't know what the statistics are, but I know that people with chronic pain in the U.S. are not as likely to refer to themselves as disabled. I didn't for a very long time. It wasn't until the pain started to get so bad that going to work was really difficult, going to school was really difficult. I was in grad school when my health really started to go downhill. And so that was really hard. But it really did take things reaching such sort of a catastrophic level before I finally went, well, maybe there's something more going on here. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've had people in my life tell me, well, you look fine. You don't look ill. You don't look disabled. Well, what is that supposed to look like? What is an illness supposed to look like? There are all kinds of illnesses and all kinds of disabilities. They don't all look the same, but there has been a lot of times where, my disabilities, my illnesses, and the pain have been sort of diminished because I don't look ill or disabled. When I was younger, I actually had one doctor tell me, "You're a pretty young girl, there's nothing wrong with you." And then as I got older and I started to gain weight because I wasn't able to be as active, then it became, well, you're just morbidly obese, lose weight and you'll be fine. Well, one, I've struggled with an eating disorder most of my life, so maybe don't talk to me that way. And two, if I'm in so much pain, I can barely get up and down the stairs in my building. How do you think I'm going to lose weight? So for me, also, like, fat phobia is a big part of accessing medical care. I've had doctors literally tell me not to eat. So I feel like in a lot of ways the medical community has really encouraged me to do a lot of harm to myself and my health. And some of that has been around fat phobia, it's been racism, it's been because I don't look ill to them, which is just terrifying these are doctors saying things like this to their patients. And I am unfortunately not in the minority of these kinds of things. In terms of things like diagnoses, like, Western medicine has advanced a long ways, but we still don't understand the body completely. And just because you've ran all the tests and things aren't coming back, with the diagnoses that exist, that doesn't mean the person's not ill. It doesn't mean they're not in pain. It just means that you haven't found it yet, or maybe what they have doesn't have a name yet. But that doesn't mean that it isn't real and that it's impacting them.